Welcome to One-on-One with Expert Flyer, where we bring you the inside scoop from travel industry experts and innovators. I'm your host, Lisa Caslin, and today I am delighted to introduce my good friend, Liz Dahl, who is the president and founder of Boomer Travel Patrol. Welcome, Liz.
Well, thank you for having me, Lisa. I'm delighted to be here.
My pleasure. So the boomer generation, I think, is still the largest demographic out there, right?
Yes, hello, loud and proud we are. Don't forget about us.
No.
You know the definition, a lot of people, the first question they ask is, who are the baby boomers? Baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1964. So that is the demographic that we're talking about.
Okay, so you started Boomer Travel Patrol, a little over a year ago, year and a half ago, something like that?
Actually, this month we're 20 months old.
Okay.
20 months old. Yeah, we're kind of babies, baby boomers.
You're toddlers at this point.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But we're reaching quite a few people, so we know we're doing something right.
You are. So talk to me about how this whole thing got started.
I used to own a travel agency, and then I had a PR firm for 30 years, but I never completely got out of travel. Friends of mine would do outside sales, that sort of thing, because once travel gets in your blood, it's really hard to leave.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my friends were calling, and I was booking trips for them, and the next thing I knew, I was actually doing more travel bookings than I was doing PR work. And I thought, well, what's going on here? And I realized that most of the people calling me, probably 90% of the people that were reaching out to me were baby boomers. And I think it's because I was telling them and offering them trips and destinations that they weren't being made aware of.
Interesting.
And I thought, there must be something to this. So I delved into it a little further and started researching about baby boomers, their spending habits, their travel habits, and so forth. And I realized there was a huge gap as far as the travel industry. And it is in many other industries as well when it comes to baby boomers, but I'm particularly talking about travel. And I found that cruises and bus tours were what they were advertising to our demographic, which cruises and bus tours are great. Don't get me wrong, because, and some people really need that extra guidance. But there's so many other things that are interesting out there. And if you're a baby boomer and you've traveled a lot, then you really are looking for some more variety when it comes to travel.
Deeper. You want a deeper experience because maybe this is your second or third time to a particular destination.
Exactly. You've been to Cancun for spring break. If you're still doing that, good for you. But there are other things to do out there, or other ways to explore Cancun.
Absolutely.
So, I just realized that there was a gap there, and people were hungry for information and choices. And that's what I was hoping to offer them, are some choices.
Good. So one of the things that I think stands out in particular about the way you've kind of architected the site and the information is you have this enormous cadre of subject matter experts who are also boomers.
Right.
And they all have their own little distinct passion about travel that they talk about. So give me a little bit on that. How did the patrols start? How did you pick them?
They were my friends and still are, thank goodness. The initial core of patrol members were all friends of mine that I approached because I knew about their passion, and they all had different types of travel that they did. They weren't necessarily travel experts, like they weren't travel agents, but they did a lot of travel, and they had a variety of interests. And that's what I was looking for. I wasn't trying to create a glossy high-end magazine with, people that had superb credentials in photography or travel, because that's done. What I wanted to do was find regular people who like to travel, who would then talk to other baby boomers about that subject matter, their subject matter. So A dear friend of mine, Catherine Saxton, is a society publicist. She lived in New York. She's now living in Palm Beach. And she had luxury clients like Ivana Trump and Sophia Loren. So she was always on yachts and everything. So, of course, she's luxury travel. And this is a woman who, has over 30 years experience in PR and also traveling with the best of the best. So let her tell us about that. And not everyone can afford to go that way, but maybe they just want to know about it.
Love it.
My partner, Don Anderson, who does the IT side of the website, his dog Susie is our pet patrol. Because one of the things I realized was that when baby boomers become empty nesters, a lot of times they fill their nest with pets.
Yeah.
And then if they like to travel, what do you do with them? A lot of times they want to take them. Yeah. So Susie, Don's dog, and Don is a baby boomer. He talks about all the places you can go with your pets. They're pet friendly. And he's actually taken some trips with Susie. So, it's firsthand experience. A dear friend of my very best friend was our food patrol, Blondie. And I have to mention her because she recently passed away from breast cancer. Oh, but she was, one of our biggest cheerleaders. And so she was the first culinary expert on the internet. So she did all of our food articles. And Mark, who you will meet in the future, he lives in England. And he is a former cricket player, and he's a sports writer. He writes for the London Times. He's an avid golfer, and he has traveled all over the world to do different sporting events, skiing, golfing, and so forth. So, and I met him in the Bahamas on a trip.
Oh, really?
So these are all people that I've known. Diane, she is our air patrol.
Oh,
she
I
is
like that one.
60 something. And she is still flying as a flight attendant for a major international carrier.
That's fantastic.
It's our air patrol. So, people are coming with a variety of experiences. We have a gentleman who's a retired principal, and he and his wife, he's our off the beaten path patrol because he and his wife love to go antiquing. They love looking for trees, interesting trees, or out of the way places. So, we have just a variety, but all of the original group of patrols were friends of mine. And since then, we were fortunate enough to be approached by some other people with great knowledge, like Marion Goldberg, who's our arts and culture patrol. And, we're just very fortunate that we have such a group of lovely people who are willing to share their experiences with us and the boomer community.
Yeah, well, we like it. You're doing a good job. So talk a little bit about the trends that you see. So, when we think of, boomer experienced travelers who want fun, they don't want boring, schleppy experiences. They want to do really original things. What are the hot trends right now?
Well, there are a lot of things because, the one thing about our generation, our boomer generation, we did not trust anyone over 30, and here we are. And we were never pigeonholed, and we're still like that. You can't just say, oh, here they are, and they love to sit in their rocking chairs and watch TV all day. Well, there may be some people that do that, but those that travel are not that way. And so there's a lot of different things going on. They're very family oriented, and a lot of boomers now are taking these multi-generational trips. Well, they will take a cruise, with the whole family. Will take the kids and the grandkids, or they'll go to a dude ranch or someplace really interesting where there's something for all of the family and they can do it together as a family. And they seem to have the means to pay for most of it. So they're offering an experience to their children and grandchildren that they may not have, and they're able to connect with them on a certain level.
And a treasured memory. Yeah.
And I think it's a wonderful thing. They also, culinary tours are really big, because they like to, Italy and just so many places where you can go. There's a lot of trips that I've booked for people where we rent a villa in Italy. And a private chef comes and teaches them how to cook. Or you can visit Italy or France or different countries and just take a cooking class or two, or have a whole week's worth of, you can have a cooking vacation.
Oh,
So there's just a variety. Or if you're an adventure seeker, there's so many things to do. So it's not just one thing, because they have a variety of interests. They may want to go on safari. The statistic that came out recently, and actually in March, by U.S. News and World Report, was that boomers spend $157 billion a year on travel. That's billion with a B.
wow.
And the baby boomers control 80% of the disposable, 70 or 80% of the disposable income in this country. It's 70% of disposable income, but they book 80% of the luxury vacations that exist. Those are huge, huge numbers that are truly being ignored. It's shocking.
Then what is your message to these travel marketers? Hello.
Hello, we're here. Don't ignore us. One thing I have spent time doing is trying to talk to some of these tour operators and say, listen, you talk about these baby moons and you talk about these honeymoons. Well, how about creating a package just for vow renewals? Because what happens with baby boomers, many times they do want to renew. If they, have been married 40, 50 years plus, anywhere from, 30 to 50 years. If they do a vow renewal, guess what? They'll take the whole family.
Oh, yeah.
They'll want the family to be part of this. And, do you pick up any brochures that ever have, you see honeymoons, you see baby moons? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, but I'm just saying, add to what you're providing and give us something as baby boomers to know that we matter and we exist, and, we have our own needs.
Absolutely.
And wants. So, and you asked me another travel trend, if you don't mind, if I can go back.
Yeah, please.
Cuba. Hello.
Yes.
We've added a Cuba vacation patrol. Our Ed is from Havana, and he's there right now. And we will be doing some tours to Cuba, because you can go now as educational and cultural tours. Those you can go today, right, as long as you follow the guidelines. But it will be opening up soon for, even more relaxed type of trips to Cuba. So watch for that.
And river cruising, I think you mentioned too. I know that's
river. Yeah, as far as cruising goes, I personally am a fan of the river cruises, because they're so laid back. All of the cabins are outside cabins. They're smaller. You don't have water slides and all kinds of crazy things going on, and you are going at a slow pace, and it's just a lovely way to travel.
Well, you get to see the country, the inside of the country.
Well, you can go in the U.S. now has river cruising.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, but when you take a normal cruise, you don't really get to see inside the country the way that you.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So river cruising is a wonderful way to go. It's slow. It's just and again, the food is wonderful. You're not with hundreds and hundreds of people. It's a much smaller experience, and you really do get to know your fellow cruisers.
Yeah. It's intimate. So if there was one more thing that you'd like us to know about Boomer Travel Patrol, what would it be? Aside from visit the site, right?
Yeah, visit the site for sure, because it's free. The only thing we're offering is information. We don't sell you anything. Well, we do have a little shop button on there for merchandise that has our logo, which is very cute, by the way. But that's the only thing that we sell. But for the most part, all the information we offer is free. So you can find information on every country in the world. You can visit any of the patrols, whatever your area is that you would be interested in. We have a guest slot for those people to write in. We encourage people to contact us if they have some great experiences that they would like to share with us. We would love to do that, because we can't cover everything. Yeah. And then we have the tabs at the top that have news that changes daily, news feeds about travel from around the world that changes daily. And we have a destination guide that you can find something about every single country in the world. So there's a lot of information, and people have written to us and said they have actually spent hours on our website. So I would love people to use it and enjoy it.
Great.
And share with us.
We will. Well, thank you so much, Liz. We're going to have you on again. We loved it. Keep doing good work.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.